All right, rocking and rolling. Okay, good morning, 3rd Platoon. So today we're going to actually be walking you through the mission that we will be conducting this Friday at Lab, which just for reference is, like I said, a platoon ambush. For reference, your con-op has the exact same information. Consider this our visual representation. So the mission that we're going to conduct is going to be conducted in 2 phases. First phase we're going to have the walkthroughs. It's important for everyone to know that whenever we're doing our walkthroughs, they're going to be a little different than they were last time. And by that I mean, instead of us actually moving people around, because when we do that, there's a lot of people not paying attention, we're going to be doing a platoon-wide terrain model kit to help y'all gain understanding. Once we've conducted that, we're going to break into our respective squads, and there'll be opportunities for Q&As and back briefs. Once we do our walkthroughs, we're going to move into our actual iterations. And that is what I'm going to be detailing on this board today. Okay, so let's say we've just finished doing our walkthroughs, and it's time to conduct the mission. At 08:15, which is when we start, what we're going to do is we're going to move out as a platoon in squad column fire team wedges. What we do pretty much every lab. You should be very familiar with this. So we're going to have first squad leading the way. I am going to be in between first squad and second squad. Behind them is going to be PSG. Then we're going to have third squad trailing with fourth squad. Machine gunners, I want you with me, and I want the other one with PSG. We need that protection. We're doing an ambush. So, as you'll notice here, I'm going to have a machine gun with me. And I have a machine gun with PSG. We need that protection, and these are pointing in opposite directions. So we're going to do this order of movement in the direction of our area of operation. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to move until we occupy hastily an ORP. This is going to be the SOP signal to indicate that we have come upon an ORP. It looks just like this. It's just a slight waving of the hand beneath the waist. When you see that signal, pass it down. That means that we are going to hastily occupy an ORP. When we do that, we're going to set up our 360-degree security. Okay? Immediately get some cover and concealment. Some important things to know, because not everyone's doing the same thing. Instead of going into 360 security, there are several individuals that need to immediately go to the center of the ORP. Those individuals include, I'll list them down here, the PL, myself, RTO, always with me. We're also going to have PSG. I need my right-hand man. I need all of my squad leaders. So squad leaders 1, 2, 3, and 4. I also am going to need the entirety of the security element, and that's going to be squad 1. So, squad 1, security, I need you with me. Do not even go into the prone. Just come straight to the center. And squad leaders, this is what I want you to do. I don't want you to try to place your people in 360 security. That's why you have an alpha team leader. Have them place their people, and everybody else, y'all, are coming to the center. What are we doing? Why are we coming to the center? We're preparing for our leader's recon. Okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to meet in the center, and we're going to determine our order of movement and any other information we need to know. And once we've concluded that we're ready to head out for our mission, all of us are going to leave. PSG, you may tentatively be probably around the 2 or 3. It just depends on the day of. Let's assume you're right here at this little exit point. Okay, I'll put PSG. Okay, so what we will do is we're going to move through. PSG, you're counting us out. I'm obviously giving you a gatwa, and you're going to distribute that to everybody else. While PSG is here, and while we leave, you know the things that you got to do. You have your tasks, and you'll ensure that they are performed while we're gone. Don't need to go into those, he knows them. PSG is going to count us out and get those numbers, and we are going to move in the direction of the objective. Before we get there, however, we're going to have a release point, or rally point, whatever you want to call it. This is essentially that last area that we are going to conglomerate before we move further on the objective for placement. So we'll put release point here. This is another SOP. When we hit that release point, this is a signal that we're at a release point. It's a waving of the hand circularly in the air with a point to the ground, which goes to show this is our rally point or release point. When you see that, that's how you know we've arrived, and it'll be echoed back throughout the chain of individuals. Now, when we get to the release point, we're going to form a little 360-degree security around the release point. What's going to happen is myself and the RTO and a security element is going to move with me forward. And we are going to establish an S&O. Why are we establishing an S&O? We're doing that because before we do anything on this road, this kill zone up here, before we do anything, we got to make sure that we have security, right? Right. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to have this S&O set up right here, and they're going to provide that security on the kill zone while we start organizing our people. So once I've placed my people here, I'm going to move back to the release point, and I'm going to pick up my security squad leader. What am I doing with him? I'm bringing him back up with the PL and the first squad leader. And what we're doing is we're saying, where do you want your people, squad leader? Because before we can recon the objective and potentially compromise our own security, we need to make sure that there are individuals monitoring the road where enemies could approach. So what the squad leader is going to do is he's going to say, this is where I think I want my people. I think I want my people here. Once he's confirmed, he's going to go back to the release point, and he's going to pick up the remainder of his individuals, and he is going to, by himself, move his individuals first to the left. So I'll put L for left, security, and then he'll place that person there. And I'm going to make that a little smaller. It's a little big. But essentially, he's going to place that left security. And then the way he's going to do that is going to do so with bounding to make sure that he is maintaining security of himself. And then he's going to move, and he's going to place his right security. According to his discretion, he can always place right security first. That way, when we move on, we got eyes on. So then when he comes back and he's placed those people, he's staying with the S&O because it's his element. He's in charge. He wants to be maintaining the entirety of his element, so he is going to be in charge at the S&O. So great, squad leader, he's there. He is our gatekeeper. Now what we're going to do is I'm going to come back and I'm going to go pick up the remainder of my squad leaders. So now it's going to be squad leader 1. One is placed here. It's going to be 2, 3, 4. You can't forget our RTO. They're always with us. What we're going to do is we're actually going to recon now. That wasn't the recon. That was ensuring we have security to do our recon. So now what we're going to do at this point is we are going to actually recon the objective. We reconned the actual site when we conducted the mission yesterday. We've determined there is a tree about right here. Okay? So whenever we do our bounding, we're actually going to bound up to the tree, and we're going to do a couple clover leaves over, and we're going to determine where do you want your people. The first person we're going to ask is going to be our support by fire, our 4th squad leader, weapon squad, McConnell. She's going to get eyes on this exact location to determine where she wants her people. Once she determines her placement, hypothetically, right here, she'll say, got it, let's move out. So then we're going to bound back, and once we've bounded back, it's time to bound the other direction so we can determine where we want our assaulting elements. We're going to bound up to that tree, bound over, and in this clover leaf, we're going to figure out assaulting elements. Where are your people best placed? Once they've determined that, let's say hypothetically, you'll notice actually on our objective, there is a trench. So expect this.
Water.
A trench with some water, that's correct. Yeah, you're going to sit in it, it's Army, you signed up for it. So first assaulting element, hypothetically, you'd be about here, A1. If that is where the second squad who's in charge of A1 wants you placed. About trench line, okay? Now the second squad leader is going to determine there's not quite enough, the third squad leader of assault element 2 might determine there's not quite enough space in that trench. So he might actually have you placed a little bit further back, a little staggered, but still in some wood line. That will be determined day of, but this is a fundamental understanding of how we'd be assaulting through. So once we've made that confirmation, we say, okay, we know where our people are going to be. We've reconned. Let's get out of there and get our elements, right? So we have our generic placement of where we want our people. So what we're going to do is we are now going to go back to our S&O, go back to our release point, go back to our ORP, and this is where the fun begins because the remainder of the platoon is now going to come, place our people, and we're going to kill those enemies.
Hell yeah.
So what we're going to do is I'm going to pick up PSG. He's going to count us in. He's going to make sure we have our numbers. We're going to pick up the entirety of the platoon. We will most likely, because you'll notice the ORP is very close to our release point. So what we'll likely do is do a staggered column in the direction of our release point. Whenever you see us do release point, that's how you know we're at the place where you need to stop. You'll get the direction to halt, the instruction to halt, and you'll take a knee, get in a prone. Your job now is to wait until the PSG gets the squad leader, and the squad leader gets your squad and brings you up to be placed. Order of movement. First squad I'm going to get is the weapon squad. Fourth squad, you're going in first. So that means, because think about it logically, before I move my assaulting elements, my support by fire with the heaviest weapons we have need to be securing the objective in case something were to be happen and we were compromised as assaulting elements moving into position. They'd be ready to defend us. So support by fire needs to be in place first. Support by fire, McConnell, on her own, is going to move from the release point through the S&O and is going to maneuver her element to place them to secure the objective. When she's placed them and that's confirmed, then we're going to have our next element move from the release point, which is going to be our assaulting one element. Our assaulting one element is going to move through the release point, through the S&O, and place their people. PSG, you're going to be with them. The reason being is we're going to need to have leadership in charge of both of these elements. PSG is going to be moving with the first assaulting and bounding element. I will be moving with the second, A2. So when they're online, PSG, along with the second squad leader, y'all are in charge there. I will be the last to move in with assaulting 2 element, which is third squad. I will move through the release point, through the S&O, and we will move into place. And notice we remain behind the element to retain control. So now we sit there, the waiting game ensues. There are SAPA forces in the area, they're conducting foot patrols. What we expect to happen is this will be the kill zone. Okay? And in the kill zone, there will likely be a couple of SAPA forces walking along, and when they're walking along, when they reach a certain point, don't shoot when you see them. You wait on me. I will do a whistle blast, which is going to be an assimilation of initiating a claymore, and when you hear that, all hell breaks loose, everybody needs to fire. And now that's going to be a suppressive fire until I yell, cease fire, or we get up and start bounding. You'll understand with my directive. So that means when I whistle that whistle, support by fire, you're blowing your guns. Bang, 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 bang. Assault 1 and 2, we're doing the same thing. Crossfire, obliterate the enemy. Whenever I cease fire, what we're going to do is we're going to start bounding. Assault element 1, you're going to begin bounding forward. PSG will retain control of your element. And when you hit, you're going to bound up to the last cover and concealed position. We will come up and successively bound right with you, up to the PSG's discretion on where they land. They are going to bound through until they've gone all the way across the objective. Okay? Same for assault element 2. Okay?
It's going to be a 3 to 5 second rush. I'm up, he sees me, I'm down, drop.
Great, great. Yeah, you can interject if you need to, Morris.
Copy.
Because they know you're behind the camera.
Right.
Okay, so great. So we have, we'll bound through just like Morris said, and that'll be what you anticipate. And whenever we get across, how you know when you hit the LOA? You hit the LOA when you get to the first cover and concealed position that you have just off of the objective. They usually recommend about 35 meters off due to the blast of a grenade. PSG discretion.
Copy that.
So LOA is going to be established. Couple things we do before we do our special teams. We're going to need our lace reports. Get your lace reports. At that point, send those up to me. PSG and I will be immediately connecting at that point so that we can be touching base as leadership. And then at that point, we can start going into our special teams. EPW, you're first. You know who you are. Couple things to note. Do not search the enemy right on top of the kill zone. You can't do that because there are foot patrols. An enemy could walk up and see us and we could be compromised. Get them off the kill zone, then you check them. So EPW, your squad leader needs to determine where a good place is to pull them off the objective. Let's say hypothetically you're over here. It doesn't have to be over there. It could even be on the other side. Okay? Just determine where you want your people and do an EPW search. While they're doing that, Aiden Litter, squad leader, you conduct. As soon as EPW starts doing their thing, pull them off the kill zone. So you can do that. Aiden Litter, you can be over here. Okay? Search, do your thing. When that's done, it's time to get off of that objective. Right?
Charlie Mike.
So what we're going to do, SOP, red, white, and blue. Everyone should be familiar with it. The first element that is going to be leaving is red. I'm going to call red. That's my assaulting elements. Assault 1, Assault 2, a.k.a. Squad 2 and Squad 3, you're out first. What you do, pick up your element and file out. Back in the direction we came from. So what y'all are going to do, everyone off of the LOA, okay? You're going to file, this is everyone's order of movement. You file back through the S&O, because that's gatekeepers, a security squad leader. Move back to the release point, and you're making your way all the way back to the ORP. Your rucks are going to be there. A guy from security is going to be there. You know where it is. Okay? So first, red. Second element to come off is going to be white. Okay? White, that's my support by fire. McConnell, weapon squad, y'all are next. When I say white, get your people up in single file back through the S&O, through the release point to the ORP. Third, finally, and not least, we are going to do blue. Security, we ain't going to forget about you. So blue is going to be our security elements. We're going to get our left and right security. I will be the last person to leave with the security element, and we're going to take these individuals as well as S&O, and we're going to meet at the S&O. But before we leave, you got demo. We didn't forget about demo. So first squad, what we're going to be doing is, because we want, it's very explosive, it's loud, off the objective. The last thing we're going to do is we're going to have the enemy's weapons or any other equipment that needs to be blown up, and we're going to do that at the S&O. And as soon as we've done demo with the security squad that are being in charge of that, we will move our element back to the ORP, we'll reestablish, and we'll get our rucks and prepare for the next mission. So, Morris, did I miss anything you want to throw in there real quick? Or did that kind of cover it?
You kind of covered it.
Okay.
Everything's
So
all taken care of.
that's that. If you have any questions, contact your chain of command.
Yep.
All right.
And this concludes our presentation. And
let's kill it.
out.
Tomorrow.